and welcome to this edition of Turnaround Marriage Live. Guys, today I want to talk to you about how beliefs can actually prevent your marriage from being restored. Now, I hear all of you out there saying, Scott, okay, I'm a Christian. I know what my beliefs are. I know that I'm a sinner. I know that I'm forgiven. I know that in marriage, there's two sinners that are coming together. Well, that's great. And that's an important part of what it means to be a Christian and to be in a Christian marriage. That is certainly important. But what I'm here to talk about today is that there are beliefs that I see all of the time from Christian individuals, Christian couples, where their beliefs are actually keeping them stuck. They're not just stuck in their lives, they're stuck in their marriage, they're stuck in their parenting, potentially even in their careers. And I want to share with you a few of them that we come across all of the time. One of them is the belief that you're just unlovable. The belief that maybe it was from the very beginning, your parents didn't tell you how wonderful you were. Maybe it's you're carrying the baggage of past relationships or a past marriage, and you believe fundamentally underneath that you're really not worthy to be loved. Or maybe it's you feel like you're a failure. And maybe there's aspects that there's an element of truth to that, and you've not maybe led your family the way that you should. And you believe fundamentally at your core, however, that it's not just that you have been a failure, that you are a failure. And when you're holding on to those types of beliefs, that's obviously holding you back. And we see it all the time. Another one would be my bad marriage or in my life, God's just punishing me. God's just punishing us. Or our marriage was doomed from the start. I've had this happen many times where people said something when they were engaged and they've just carried for 5, 10, 20, 30 years or beyond, that their marriage was just doomed for failure. Or maybe it's you married the wrong person. If there are those hints of belief linger in the background that maybe you have never told your spouse that you've wondered that. And that belief you've carried throughout these years obviously is undermining your relationship. Or maybe it's that your spouse doesn't really love you, or that they're just not, maybe they love someone, their previous spouse or someone else they love more than you, and you're hanging on to that. Or maybe it's that you feel like this is a hopeless situation. It's been 5, 10 years of struggle and things are never going to improve. Or maybe along with it, it could be just like we've had these hit after hit, loved ones getting sick, parents getting older, and we're having to take care of them, or something happened to one of your kids. And there is this fundamental belief that because of all the things that have happened, it's just hopeless. Or maybe similarly, too much has happened now. Too much water is under the bridge. We're never going to be able to go back, and we're never going to be able to recapture what we once had. Or it could be centered around yourself, like this is just how I am. I don't know how to change, and this is just how my parents were. Or similarly, it could be my husband. He had all this abuse, and he doesn't know anything different. Or you weren't raised in a Christian home. Or it could be he's never going to change. Guys, we could go on and on. I think I've demonstrated that we've seen quite a few of them. These are not just disempowering and negative beliefs. These beliefs are usually anchored with thousands and thousands of repetitions. And we see this not only where people believe these things, but they have repeated them over and over and over again over the years. And so oftentimes people are like, they want to tell me the story of what happened here and what happened there. And usually I would say, I'm not interested in hearing the story of what happened. What I'm interested in hearing is, what is your belief about it? What is underneath the surface? Because those beliefs are what are holding you back. And we see this all the time where people have been repeating tens, hundreds, thousands of times, if not millions of times, those types of stories about themselves, about their spouse, their circumstances, or their marriage. And when you're holding on to that, obviously there's a lot of negativity, a lot of even a spiritual open negativity that is opened up, where we're welcoming in the lies of the enemy. And people don't see it oftentimes, but when they do see it, they don't often know how to get out of it. I heard one researcher did a survey and found that most people had about 150,000 references of things that were told to them. Well, you're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to measure up. You're not good enough. But when they were asked, those same people were asked, like, what are some of those encouraging comments that you've heard along the way? Most people weren't even able to think of one positive comment that was that either from their childhood or from their upbringing that was encouraging for them to really believe in themselves. And guys, what we even see beyond that is oftentimes people are really cruel. They're cruel with each other when there's a lot of hurt feelings in a marriage, but they're also usually quite cruel with themselves. And even if there had been an abusive relationship with their parents, oftentimes they've been far more cruel to themselves. And therefore, because of that, there's a ripple effect to their loved ones now, to their spouse, to their children, that that there's so much pain that has been poured out. But at the heart of hearts here, they have held on to these beliefs. They've been beating themselves up. And it's no wonder that they're not able to get out of those ruts in their own personal life or in their marriage. And guys, when people are stuck in beliefs like this, that not only hold you back, they're also always not just emotion free. Obviously, they're not just their beliefs that you hold on to, but they're emotions that are connected, usually directly tied to those beliefs. Emotions like anxiety or depression or fear. And a lot of people, no wonder they're depressed if they believed that they're a big steaming pile of worthlessness. Of course there is those feelings, and of course there's the anxiety if they believe that their spouse isn't committed to them. And of course, if you mix in their fear, how are you ever going to change things in the context of a marriage when you are in a whirlwind of emotions and belief that are tied together, that are negative, that are dragging you down? There is no chance for significant change. There is no chance to really fix things when those beliefs, they are your reality in which you live in. And then when you pile the emotions on top of those beliefs, rarely, guys, are you going to be able to find a way to navigate this. Rarely can one person just, praying out of it or asking God for strength or just, on their own devices going to be able to navigate out of that. Equally so, rarely are you going to be able to go somewhere for help. Rarely is a counselor going to be able to help you to identify, they might be able to help you to identify those beliefs that you're holding on to, but rarely they're going to be able to help you to change the behaviors. Rarely are they going to be able to help you to get out of those ruts of negativity and beliefs that are holding you back. And by the way, if they're holding you back, they're holding back everybody that's close to you in your world. Guys, what you need is a game plan. What you need is so much more than just realizing this isn't what it should be and I've got some negativity I need to work on. What you need is someone who knows how to help you to get out of those roots of negativity, of pessimism, of disempowering beliefs, of beliefs that you've held to be true, of those strong emotions, which serve oftentimes as like a flood. For a lot of people, I often use this example. If you were to go to the ocean and a big wave hits you and you're pulled underneath the water and someone were to ask you, oh, what are you going to have for dinner? Like, that's the last thing in your mind that you can think about. All you're thinking about is, I need oxygen. I got to get out of here. And a lot of times people, when they're stuck, when there's a heightened emotions, not only with the reality of these beliefs that you live in, but also that things aren't what they should be in the context of your marriage. It's like, how could you possibly fix things if you're stuck underneath this wave? How could you? It's impossible. And that's why so many people have loved our masterclass. The 5 simple shifts Christian couples use to completely turn their marriage around, recover connection, and fall back in love again. Because what we do in that is we talk about something very, very different. And that is just like we're talking about today. It isn't just that you recognize that there's marriage problems, that there's communication issues. It's not that you don't know how to communicate. It's how you're communicating to one another. And why are you communicating to one another with the way that you are? Because there's a lot of beliefs and there's a lot of hurt feelings and there's a lot of negativity that has been not built up, not over a course of a week, but over months and even years. I was just talking to one of our amazing clients yesterday. We'll just call him Bob. And he said this masterclass helped him so much. And it wasn't just because he listened and it's like, oh, these are some great points. He applied each of the 5 shifts. And he shared with me just yesterday, like I said, this has not only helped him to understand where things went wrong in his marriage, but it has completely changed his life by applying them. He not only watched them, he implemented them. And guys, one of the problems that we have with people that we work with, I call it's a problem, is these people, just like Bob, they get so many like life-changing breakthroughs that they break out of these personal ruts. They get the healing, not only get out of that negativity, but they get the healing from the Lord as only He can provide. And they get that healing. It's like their spouses can't even believe that what they're saying is true. Because let's be honest, in the past, we know they've said, I'm going to change, I'm going to change. And when that change actually happens, when they get the right kind of help to help them to pull out the beliefs so that the healing flood of the Holy Spirit, the healing flood of the Lord God can flow over them. Because let's be honest here, guys, let's be honest. If you're going to someone who says, oh, the counseling, the help is going to take lots of time for you to find the healing, that's not in alignment with who God is. It just isn't. God has an abundance of healing in His wings for His people. And if the problem is that you haven't been able to find the healing yet, the problem isn't God. The problem is that there's too much in the way. Too much negativity. I might submit to you, too many lies of the enemy that many people have bought into, many of God's people have believed to be true. And these beliefs need to be ripped out. And rarely, like I said, does it going to be just, you're going to be praying it out. It's going to take someone else that can say, look, my friend, look, my brother, this is what we're holding on to. This is what's underneath the hood. Help you with the Lord's help to rip that out. And then everything can change. Just like it has for Bob, so much so that he doesn't even see the world the same. And even just talking to some of our other clients last night, some of them were saying, this has helped me with my kids and my friends and my neighbors. And like, oh, sorry that this has had so many ripple effects in good ways. That's exactly what happens, my friends. So it doesn't matter, even if there have been years of problems in your marriage, even decades, even the majority of your life, that these beliefs and these strong emotions have been holding you back. Even if you've tried counseling and it hasn't worked, even if nothing has worked, even if you are both hurting or just you're hurting, or even if you're the only one that's willing to get that help, I'm telling you, these 5 shifts, if you check out this masterclass, which you can see at turnaroundmarriage.live, is going to be life-changing, not just if you listen to it, but if you apply it as hundreds and hundreds have before. And applying that to their life, applying that to their marriage, and it has ripple effects that will last for generations. Guys, I'm here to tell you, if you're stuck in those negative beliefs, if you're stuck in those strong emotions, one, the other, or both of them, then I'm here to tell you, we're going to stay stuck until those things change. Let's start with that masterclass today at turnaroundmarriage.live. Until next time,